Everybody, and welcome to another edition of Blaine's World, a guide to the Grand Strand Myrtle Beach area. Today we are at the very south end of Myrtle Beach. We are at the old Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. This is a little park you will find just inside as you turn in to here from the ocean side of this old Air Force Base. And it's a little park dedicated to people that were in the service. And that is what we would like to say this morning. Thank you very much for your service to all our veterans, all of our members of the military, but especially to our veterans and their comrades. We thank you for the service you give us to keep us free in this country, and we appreciate what you do. My father was in the military, in the Air Force. His younger brother, my uncle, was actually also in the Air Force and stationed here. I'm a military brat, so I understand the sacrifices that our military families make. We're going to walk around and show you some of the things in the park here. They've got quite a few of these plaques scattered around, not just in this park, but all around the area and parts of the old base that give you an idea of some information about the history of the base and some of the things that have been happening here over the past 50 years or more since it was begun and shut down. This was actually an operating military base still when I moved here. My father was coming out here to see his doctors, get prescriptions and all that, but it has been shut down within the last 20 years since I moved here. And again, it's just a little park right inside the very entranceway of what used to be the front gate of the Air Force Base. Over here, I'm going to walk over here and show you a minute. This is Highway 17, and this intersection up here begins the Ocean Boulevard on the south end that goes along the coast all the way through Myrtle Beach. This is the section where it actually starts here. The cars you see and heading that direction are going to about a quarter to half a mile, and then it turns to the left and runs parallel with the beach. Here's some more informational signs that they have about the base. Also up here, just to the right of this intersection, if you turn right and start heading south on 17, you will come to the state parks. We have two state parks. We have Myrtle Beach State Park and we have Huntington State Park. We're going to also be making videos over there hopefully soon on our way down to Brook Green Gardens. And this is the east side boundary of the property with Highway 17 here. On the other side is the bypass 17. And you can see some of the resorts at the very south end of Ocean Boulevard. And then back behind here is the runways for the now Myrtle Beach International Airport. When when I moved here, it was operating dually. You had one set of the runways that was being used by the military for the military base, and the other set of runways was being utilized by the airport. But it's amazing what they have done and taken this old base and turned it into. We're going to pause the video and start again down the road and show you what used to be the heart of the base. And so we're leaving the park and heading into the heart of what used to be the Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. After they closed it down, they donated the land, or sold the land to the city, I think for $1, the government did, and the city has revitalized it. They put in a large shopping, entertainment, and dining complex here as well. It's referred to as the Market Commons. There's also a lot of new housing being developed here. And they've got a big section up here on the right that they've just cleared where they're apparently going to be putting in even more new stores and shops and so forth. There are some buildings you can still see in some of the side roads on the back side here where you can tell it used to be a military installation with the old warehouses and so forth. But for the most part, you cannot tell this was a
military base at all. It's a normal neighborhood family shops and stores. It doesn't look anything like it used to when I first moved here. They do have a lot of things going on here. There's a lot of festivals they hold here. They've had Earth Day festivals. We have a friend that's a retired teacher and she paints. And there's been some art festivals. We've been down here helping them set up and take down their booth. But like I said, this is also fairly new. Since they shut down the Air Force Base in the last 10 to 15 years, they developed all this. And it's got a large movie theater here, as well as the shops and stores and housing. What's unique that a lot of people don't realize is some of these buildings here at the heart of the Market Commons, they're 2- and 3-story tall. There are shops on the first floor. Some of them have condos or apartments on the 2nd and 3rd floor. But there's also a few of these blocks where in the middle of the block there's just 1 or 2 doors and you see a very small sign and it announces it's a suite of some type. There's I think 2 or 3 different hotels in here that do it. But if you don't really pay attention, you don't realize that it is a motel or hotel. The whole upstairs above the shops is all lodging, not just condos or apartments. And they've tried to put in a variety of different kinds of shops and stores and things to attract a lot of different demographic base of people instead of just people that just want to come shop or just want to come to the dining facilities. They've probably got the largest variety of different things here of all versus Broadway at the Beach or the Barefoot Landing complexes. There's the theater directly ahead of us. Like I said, there's Barnes & Noble here off to the left, and you can tell that those are some of the houses and condos upstairs. And on some of the other blocks, there are hotels or private residences for the store owners. From what I understand, they will be continuing to expand both this part and the housing area. As you go out the other direction, leaving to go toward the bypass, there's several large tracts of land on that side that they have turned into larger developments for big houses, 5 to 6 to 10,000 square foot houses from what I've seen. It looks like on some of them. And there's several of them that are gated communities over there as well. These are a few stores that aren't still quite as busy. They're on the 2nd and 3rd rows back from the main part of Market Commons. And up here we're going to turn and go back to the left and show you what's left of some of the old part of the military base. You can see part of it directly ahead of us there. The tall stack building is one of the old maintenance type buildings, if I remember right, when we were coming out here. And these are some of the old military warehouses when it was the Air Force Base. Some of the old hangars on this side have been taken over and are being utilized by small private companies that do maintenance and work on private planes and smaller jets and things of that nature. There's a couple of different kinds of them along here. This is basically the boundary edge before you're over where the runway area is. Myrtle Beach Police Department also has a building out here. And up here on the right would be the VA clinic, which is still open and functioning. I read somewhere that they are considering going ahead and building a new larger clinic out here. This is basically the only thing we have in this area. Most of our veterans, if they have to go to the hospital, either have to go down to Charleston, over to Fort Sumter, or up to Fort Bragg in North Carolina. But this is the primary care clinic for the VA here in the Myrtle Beach area. And there are the runways for the airport. again, some of the old hangars that again are being utilized now by private industry. So they have managed to reuse a lot of stuff. They did tear a lot of buildings down after they turned the base over. There was a lot of buildings that were taken apart, but I have noticed that they have also utilized a large number of what was already here, and most of them are filled and active again. Even the warehouses, there's private companies in there renting space and utilizing them. So we're going to pause it again and show you the last part of the base going out toward the bypass, and where you would get back onto 17 bypass if you're headed and wanting to go back north into Myrtle Beach. Alright, we're back on what they call Faro Parkway, which is the main route that runs through the center. It was the same road that was here when it was the Air Force Base. All they did was widen it and add to it. But we're going to go back past the Market Common one more time. I'll turn the camera off to the left a little bit so you can see some of the housing and development. And up ahead there's some ponds that were partially here. They dug out and enlarged and improved. They have some rowboat races here during the summertime, and a lot of activity around these lakes with exercise stations and a couple bridges going across. On the other side are some athletic fields where they've got a lot of soccer, baseball, basketball fields, different things for sports activities. And that's also right behind that is where the Grand Strand campus for Horry Georgetown is located as well. And again, as we go around this side, it's a little bit longer drive leaving out of here, and most of what's out here are just a larger home developments. They did take the old section that was the housing for the base personnel. Most of those are typical military family duplexes, and they went through those and revamped them and sold those as individual homes. And then they've also taken all the excess land over on this side of what used to be the base and turned it into large neighborhoods. When you're exiting the base on this side, wanted to go further south to go see Brook Green Gardens or going to Georgetown, you're going to want to stay to the left. If you're going back to Myrtle Beach or North Myrtle Beach, you want to stay to the right. They've done a complete change here since they added on all these new developments and so forth. There's a large increase in traffic, and there was a congestion point at the old back gate of the Air Force Base. So they built an overpass, so the traffic that needs to go back and forth from the base toward the rest of the town of Socastee and into Conway, and the traffic that's flowing north and south trying to get between Wilmington and Myrtle Beach in North Carolina was making a major tie-up. So they put a bypass over, so all the traffic going north and south continues to flow straight, and there's no intersection anymore. This traffic would back up down here in this area, sometimes 2 and 3 hours of wait time trying to get through here, and especially at 9 in the morning and 5 when everybody was going to work and getting off. So by putting this overpass in, it changed the flow of traffic completely and improved it greatly. Most of this, when it was the Air Force Base, when you would be driving through here, was just the woods that they leave around a lot of military installations for security. So it was just raw land that they put to good use by building more neighborhoods in here. And There is another park up here for an industry. They've got one on this end, and they've got one further on the other end as well. This one is connected to the airport, the old part of the Air Force's facilities for the runways as well. They do different things for planes on this side as well. And some more of the new condo buildings that they put up on this end. Construction going on since I was here last. This place is constantly growing because of the amount of land that there is here. When it was turned over, it will take quite a long time to completely fill up this whole thing. This Doctor's Care on the right hand side is a completely new since I was down here last. And I believe I've been down here last year. I was down here sometime in the fall. So all this to the right is new. New Walmart, new shopping center. And if you want to go to Myrtle Beach or North Myrtle Beach, you're going to go right. If you want to go to Georgetown, you're going to go left. If you know anything about Socastee and you're going there, then you're going to stay in these lanes and go forward. And that's where I'm going to end this video. I've got to go see somebody in Socastee myself, and we may be making another video over there. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for the subscribers and the shares and the likes on our channel. I hope that what we're doing is helpful to y'all, and will give you some information to get around this area better. If you have any comments, I presume we're doing things right. I haven't had any negative comments. I haven't had any positive comments, but I'm thankful that y'all are watching and hopefully getting what you need out of these videos. Everybody have a great one. We'll see you next time.